Hello, hello, hello. This is Olu again, Nuggets of Wisdom. Merry Christmas. I hope you're looking forward to the new year. I just want to continue our what we call our power series. But before we go on, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for new content. Our topic today is called the power of solitude. The power of solitude. I guess some of you guys have been following me a little bit, and you've been seeing some of the power series we've been discussing. I see that a lot of people talk about the end game. They talk about how much money I want to make, how great my relationship is going to be. But there are a lot of things that it's like somebody winning the lottery, but has never known nothing about money. And they expect them to perform when they get there. Because basically, when you're going through those processes, right, you're building character. You're building your muscle like you go to the gym. It doesn't just happen overnight. It takes time. So one of the things that lead you up to those things, so what I'm going to be speaking today is called the power of solitude. What is solitude? Solitude is the act of being alone. I like what one of these, I need to read it from one of my scripture here. It says solitude can also refer to a place where you can completely be alone. The middle of the words, the top of the big mountain, the middle of the vast desert, even for your room. These are places where you might go for solitude. Solitude comes from the Latin word solitudinum, which means loneliness. You cannot get to a place whereby you actually want to do some things in your life that are actually extraordinary until you are left to be by yourself. You cannot know strategies. You cannot understand how life unfolds just because you're in the crowd. And when you're in the crowd, all what you hear is the noise of everybody else. It does not allow you to grow. We look at all these artists that we like to hear. We buy their books, we buy their music, and we say, "Oh man, did you see that show? That show was on the top. Did you see how that guy dunked? That guy can play." They make it easy for you, but I believe there have been times they have been alone to actually download of how am I going to perform at this concert? How am I going to play on this basketball court or this football field? There comes a time that people who are actually successful, they are a little off. And because they are off, they need to be in a particular state of mind, a state of aloneness, a state of creativity for them to actually achieve the things they need. Folks think that, oh, okay, yeah, I need $1 million. People are just talking about the money. What about you making a decision? What about you having focus? What are you having gratitude, right? Do so many of the power series I've been discussing lately? There is a method to this madness. Your attitude to where you're going will determine your altitude. I like somebody said something the other day that I thought was very powerful. You need to set yourself on fire in private so you can burn in front of people in public. And what that simply means, that every work you've done, every aloneness, every study you've done, everything you've rehearsed, everything you've read. Now, it may just take you 15 minutes and people think, oh, he's a superstar. No, he's actually been in solitude. He has taken time away from himself to actually be excellent in what he's trying to do. You don't see somebody who wants to go against a march. They go to a place of aloneness. In our culture, we like being part of everything. We want to be in the midst of the crowd. We want to be on social media. We want to be that person that always want to do stuff within people. And you would expect to have the same success with somebody who has taken time to be in solitude. Years ago, I live here in Minnesota. I went to Paisley Park where Prince has his house. And when I went there, every room in that house spoke music. The studios were different. There were so many things in that house. You could know that this guy was basically off. So we look at these people that they're off, but that is what brings or breeds that excellence that we see when they display those talents right in front of me and you. We buy their books because somebody sat down and thought about what they're going to write, right? We go to their conferences because we say, oh yeah, he's a superstar. You see Tony Robbins, you see this, that, blah, blah, blah. They, in my opinion, I thought there's a time that I've done some crazy stuff, right? In this case, solitude. Maybe they sat down and they said, how am I going to actually present at this event? How am I going to organize this event? How am I going to brainstorm? You can't do that in the midst of a noise. You have to be alone. I believe I've had situations in my life that I think my best time that things have worked better for me is when I'm away from people. No disrespect. I had a situation whereby when I first came to this country, the situation at the time, ex-wife, basically was away for like 90 days. And those 90 days, I had a workout regimen going on. I had my certifications going on. I had my routine, everything was on point. So it's very, very powerful that and I also had solitude, there was quietness. And because of that, it let me think through some things. It allowed me to open up my mind in ways I've never seen it before. So you want some power, you can focus, you can have decision, but you have to add one more. How do I approach life? How do you come back for some things? Some things you just have to be by yourself. And that was solitude do. But before I go, I want to give you 5 things that I think solitude does for you. Number 1, solitude gives you the clarity of mind. I don't know about everybody else, I just don't do well in the midst of a lot of noise. If I'm with that person or I'm around that person, if I hang out with more than 2 hours, I want to get back into my place and be in that quiet space. So then I will have clarity. So sometimes when people are saying something, I may not even have an answer for you. But whenever by myself, it will come back to me, then I'll have that clarity of mind. Number 2, solitude can be deemed as self-therapy. We, as human beings, we have the innate ability to self-soothe, self-heal ourselves. In the places whereby, oh, was it so bad? Especially if we've gone through something that is traumatic. Maybe of a breakup of a relationship, maybe of a loss of a job. You have to be able to be by yourself, so solitude can be as like a self-therapy for you. Number 3, solitude can be used as a spiritual awakening. For me, I'm a Christian, so there's something I pray and I fast and I meditate. So during the time I meditate is where I have insight. Then you have like a sense of peace. There's a scripture that says the peace that passes understanding. Those peace cannot be acquired in the midst of noises. It can be only acquired in the place of meditation, in the midst of prayer, in the place of fasting. And fasting is actually, regardless of what your religion is being deemed to be healthy. Right? That you abstain from some things during that period of time. Most of the time when I'm quiet by myself, solitude boosts creativity in ways you cannot even imagine. I come up with things in my mind just because I'm alone. Oh, how do I say this? When do I say this? I may be watching a movie by myself, something just comes up, and that spawns my next message. Then from there, I do my little research, and I have something that will be of value that I think I can share. The last one, solitude empowers you to be comfortable with yourself. You see, in 2021, a lot of folks don't want to be by themselves. They don't. They are afraid of their own shadow. And you have to get to a point whereby you are comfortable with you. I'm going to be honest with you. This is the most comfortable I've ever been in my own skin. I'll give you a good example. When I started doing these videos, I thought nobody's going to hear my voice. Nobody's going to like it. Nobody's going to care. But I said, okay, regardless, if I'm listening to everybody else, they have a voice. That came from me self-talking to myself. It made me feel comfortable with myself. It doesn't mean I'm all the way there, but at least gives me that boldness to say, okay, I'm going to step out and do regardless. All I'm going to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, 2022 is coming. Find areas in your life that you need to say, I'm going to zero in into this area. And I'm going to make sure that I'm going to do my best. That means doing things you've never done before. All I'm going to do today is read a whole book. All I'm going to do today, and if you want to go and play, if you want to binge watch Netflix, that's what you want to do that particular day. So that's basically what you. That's not going to be my advice every time. But sometimes you just want to do things that you want to do and enjoy it. Ladies and gentlemen, this Power of Solitude. This is Olu again, Nuggets of Wisdom. I need you to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell for new content. The Power of Solitude. You need it. We all need it. You cannot hear if you are in the midst of a crowd. You cannot be creative if you're in the midst of a crowd. You cannot be empowered if you're in the midst of a crowd. And you cannot always be yourself because you're somebody else in front of everybody else. This is Olu again, man. Nuggets of Wisdom. I want you to like again. I want you to drop me a comment. Please drop me a comment. I want to hear your words. Add anything to it. Let's get this conversation going. God bless. I'm out.